Good evening, wrestling fans, and this is your Extreme Rules edition of Tables, Ladders, and Talk. We have a special father son review going on today. I have my little man here with me, and I'll let him introduce himself.
My name is the Second City Kid, and today we are going to be doing an Extreme Rules special edition for a pay-per-view today.
All right, we had Extreme Rules kickoff from the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Try saying that 5 times fast.
That's so many P's.
It really is. The pre-show kicked off. We kind of missed the pre-show. We went back and watched a little bit of it. Really, the only highlight from the talking in the pre-show was that they are reinstating Hulk Hogan. I'm pretty sure more information will come by that a little bit later on in the week. Your first match for the pre-show was once again Sin Cara versus Andrade Cien Almas. It was the same match we probably saw Monday night. I guess just gave Cien Almas a little bit bigger stage to wrestle on at a pay-per-view.
You mean Tuesday?
Pre-show. Huh?
You mean Tuesday?
Yes, you are right. Tuesday, not Monday. Tuesday. See, this is why I have him here. Let's see. The bell rings. They go at it for a little while. A lot of luchador type moves. Like I said, pretty much the same thing you saw Tuesday. Andrade Cien Almas wins. And that was pretty much it. The next match was, again, we didn't watch it. It was Sanity versus the New Day. We're planning on going back and watching it probably later on today before Raw.
It was a tables match.
Right. And the highlights that we seen, it looked pretty good. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I personally like Sanity and the New Day.
Me too. I think that makes a really great feud.
Yeah, I do too. It because it's three, and as much as the New Day clown around and eat pancakes and throw pancakes at people and pancake battle on people, the guys can wrestle. And of course, if you know anything about wrestling, Sanity is at the top of their game too. So, I mean, I would really like to see them go back and forth. I mean, especially considering that the tag team titles are really not doing anything. I mean, man, if they were like beefing over a shot at some belts, it would make it that much better, in my opinion. Then we go to so yes, it was a tables match. Like I said, we can't really give you too much insight on it because we didn't watch too much of it. But we do know that Sanity won. So then we kick off the main show. The main show starts with the B Team versus Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. Let's see. Oh, what was that? I don't know where that came from. Okay, sorry, we had a little. I'm not editing that out either. So we kick off the match. I'm sorry, that kind of threw me off a little bit. The bell rings. We start off with Matt Hardy and Dallas. Dallas tags out before things get physical after they size each other up. Axel comes in. Wyatt strikes first. Wyatt takes control and works Axel over a little bit. Wyatt went for a splash in the corner, misses the splash in the corner, and then Axel got away with a couple of stomps on him. Hardy then Matt tags in and goes to work on Axel in the corner. Hardy then stomps Axel out. And Wyatt misses a splash in the corner after he gets tagged back in. Then quick tags. Mac tags in again. Works Axel in the corner. Slams Axel's head into the turnbuckle. Then starts doing delete. So then Hardy keeps control, hits an elbow from the rope for a 2 count. Axel and Hardy trade. Dallas keeps Hardy grounded. The B team takes control of Hardy. Quick offense and tags. Axel drives Hardy into the mat. Close 2 count. Let's see. Dallas and Wyatt then tag in at the same time. Wyatt clotheslines Dallas. Knocks Axel off the ring. Apron. Wyatt hits a splash in the corner. Dallas blocks the Sister Abigail. Wyatt ends up planting Dallas with a Uranagi. And then Wyatt turns upside down in the corner, does his little spider walk thing. Tags in Hardy. They go for a double team, but Axel gets on the apron. Dallas shoves Hardy into Wyatt, sending him to the floor. Dallas takes advantage, comes from behind, slingshotting him from the top of slingshotting Hardy from the top for the win. And your new Raw Tag Team Champions are Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas.
Why?
How did you feel about that match?
I hated that match.
You hated it?
Well, alright. It was okay, but when the B team won, the B team, I'm saying they're clowns. I mean, they're going to be terrible with the Raw Tag Team titles.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, we'll get to that later, but it's kind of like Carmella with the women's title.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so what did we find out? That they're the new tag team champions. I personally didn't like the match either. The action was lackluster. I mean, I honestly don't really think Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt make a good tag team. I mean, it looks good on paper, but their chemistry is just, for as long as they've been in the ring, to me, their chemistry just not there. It's just, when you see them come out, it's like, you're not like, man, I've been waiting on these guys. It's just like,
I've personally been saying, because you remember when Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy were beefing?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a setup. That's what I think.
So you think they're going somewhere else? Maybe maybe them losing the titles is maybe a segue into them clashing with each other. Mm-hmm. That would be good. I would much rather see them fight each other than
be a tag team.
It's just, the tag team thing is just not working for them. I mean, and you got too many other good tag teams on Raw that's just like sitting in the back with Titus O'Neil watching TV.
And catering,
doing nothing. Okay, so of course after the match, the B team celebrate like the jerk-offs that they are. And we go backstage. Where Kurt Angle says he's recently opened up talks with Paul Heyman and Lesnar about his next title defense. And Heyman stopped those talks and said Lesnar wasn't interested in fighting anyone. So then Angle goes on and says that, man, it was a good shot. I mean, I personally liked it. He's like, look, this dude can show up at UFC, man, and be in the ring with their champion, but he can't show up here and defend his title. So from that segue, this is what Kurt Angle had to say.
Either show up tomorrow night on Raw, or he can come to terms this next title defense will be, or I'm going to strip Brock Lesnar of the Universal Championship.
And as you see, he said he's gonna, as soon as he said he was gonna strip him, you heard the fans cheer. I think everybody wants the belt off of Brock Lesnar.
Because they're not doing anything with it.
It's just sitting on his dresser somewhere. I mean, you got a lot of guys that deserve a shot at the belt. It would make your brand better to see the belt at least once a month. I mean, literally, this dude hasn't been there since April. Since WrestleMania. We haven't seen him since the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania.
And he had it when, like, 2 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 years ago when he beat Goldberg.
Okay.
Goldberg with the
Yeah, Oldberg. Yeah, okay, he beat him, right?
Yeah, and he still has the title, and we don't see him. I mean, it's supposed to be one of the biggest titles in WWE.
The second biggest, actually, behind the one AJ Styles holds.
And they're not using it. He probably lost it.
Say moving somewhere or out hunting. He likes to hunt deer or whatever it is. So again, we're glad to see that they're finally doing something, because I mean, you have to look at it like this. Anytime, like for instance, when Finn Balor got hurt, right after he beat Seth Rollins for the title, when Finn Balor got hurt, and they knew he was going to be out for 8 to 12 months, they stripped him of the title because he couldn't defend it. Brock Lesnar just doesn't defend it.
He's lazy.
Okay, I'll give you that. So we're going to segue to our next match, which was Finn Balor and Baron Corbin. Constable Baron Corbin. Thank you. Again, another match that we've seen before. I wish they would really stop giving away matches for free on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown if you're going to premiere these guys. I mean, well, I guess we've seen them, in tag teams? They haven't really fought one-on-one. Or did they fight one-on-one?
No, well, they did tag team with, remember with Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Have they fought one-on-one before tonight?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. I believe they have.
Yeah, I think so too.
I believe they have. But we go back and forth to start the match. Corbin quickly takes control, dominates Balor, talks trash about his size, of course, calling him a vanilla midget, like everybody, is saying. Corbin manhandles Balor some time before taking him down to the mat. Balor then, puts up a fight. Corbin plants him into the mat, takes his time, stomps Balor, keeping him down. Corbin goes for another one of his big power moves, takes his time. Balor kicks out at, then he goes for the cover. Balor kicked out at 2. Then Corbin comes back with a couple of big forearms, keeps Balor grounded again. It was a really slow, methodical match. No really high-risk moves. Corbin went for a choke slam, a backbreaker combo for another close 2 count. Then Corbin, of course, he gets into it with the referee because he's saying he thought it was 3. Corbin again dominates Balor some more. And then Finn catches him with a sling blade. And then Corbin keeps control, catches Balor in a deep 6. And I thought it was over after the deep 6. Then he tried a pin attempt, but he kicked out. Then Corbin delivers another elbow. Balor fights, mounts a comeback. Goes to the top for the coup de grace. Corbin cuts him off. Corbin looked to hit the end of days, but then Balor countered him with a roll up and beat him with a roll up. So your winner was Finn Balor.
Basically.
What did you think of the match?
I mean, it was one of those basic match.
There was nothing really to get excited about.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I was getting ready to say it was one of those lame Kurt Hawkins matches, but it wasn't that terrible.
Okay. So what do you think of the Finn Balor Baron Corbin thing?
Okay. It's the type of thing where, alright, it's good, but it's not, yeah, this is the next,
It's not next level.
yeah, it's not top notch.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, they stripped Finn Balor of everything that he was, pretty much. We get no Demon King anymore. I mean, I don't know. This guy looks nothing like the guy that beat Seth Rollins for the Universal title. So then we go backstage. After the match, we go backstage. We're gonna move to backstage. Really nothing to talk about with Finn Balor and Baron Corbin. I'm kind of over that feud too. I mean, it's just not really going anywhere. Then we go backstage, and the Bludgeon Brothers are attacking Team Hell No. Rowan and Harper. They hit Kane and Daniel Bryan and leave with their sledgehammers. They hit him. Then they hit Kane with the sledgehammer.
Yeah, they put his foot in a door and then they just hit the door. So he has a broken foot now.
Foot or ankle, one of the things, yeah. Or knee, something. He came out in a cast, but we'll get to that part. So then we go to the next match, which was probably the worst match of the night.
No, it definitely was.
Why don't it was either this one or the the U.S. title match.
Oh yeah, we'll get to the U.S. title match later. That one was just.
This match, we go to Asuka versus Carmella.
With Sucks Worthless in a shark cage.
Sucks Worthless. I think we're gonna start calling him that on here. James Ellsworth's new name is Sucks Worthless. Okay. So, okay. I don't even know where to begin with this crap. James Ellsworth is put in the shark cage and suspended above the ring. All right. Bell rings.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ellsworth drops a chain as soon as the bell rings to Carmella. Asuka caught him, tells the referee, but Carmella, of course, takes advantage of the distraction. Now, why Asuka is I don't know why she just didn't throw the chain out of the ring and beat up Carmella. I mean, we talking about somebody that was undefeated for like 3 years, 2 or 3 years.
Until Vince McMahon decided to ruin it.
That's exactly what he did. He ruined he ruined Asuka badly. So Carmella tries to roll Asuka up, and we get a close 2 count. Carmella kicks Asuka in the corner, stomps her, man, running around, screaming like a banshee with her head cut off. And then Carmella goes for the chain, but then the referee stops her again. Ellsworth then drops, I guess, some mace to her, Carmella. Asuka blocks the mace and hits Carmella with a spinning back fist. Asuka then keeps control, nails a drop kick. Then she goes into her Asuka offense, does a hip attack, and then, pins her for a close 2 count. Asuka then drops Carmella into the Asuka lock, but she broke away. I don't know how she got out of that. They go to the floor, and Asuka keeps control. Ellsworth, at this point, gets free from the cage.
Sucks worthless.
I'm sorry. Sucks Worthless gets free from the cage. So, when Worthless is trying to get out the cage, like, for one, I don't know what it was. He had, like, these rainbow wraps around his legs.
Yeah, he had bandana tied around them. Like,
what was that all about? Like, man, and they were like different colors. So he's trying to get out, and he ends up
dangling,
man, by his foot. So now by this time, the crowd is like booing their asses off. They're hating this. So they boo, and then Ellsworth, the crew members come in and try to put him back into the cage. At this point, Asuka starts beating up the ring crew and kicks Ellsworth. Like, man, she's kicking him in his butt, man, while he's dangling.
Like a punching bag.
Right, pretty much. Yeah, that's how he was dangling there, like a little punching bag. So then Asuka waits for Ellsworth to get up. Carmella is man, of course, watching all of this, and comes from behind, sends Asuka face first into the cage, and she hits her head like on the bottom part of the cage that was swinging. So like the cage is swinging, and she pushed her, and man, it's like hit her right there. So Asuka goes down. Carmella covers her real quick. 1, 2, 3. Carmella, unfortunately, is still the damn women's champion.
The terrible women's champion. Like, I don't even know how she's champion. I mean, she is terrible.
Yeah, she's terrible. She can't wrestle. She can't cut a promo. I mean, I don't know why she's even there. Like, she shouldn't be allowed off Total Divas. They should say you can be on Total Divas, and that's it.
Total Divas, Total Bellas, and then...
Yeah, that's it.
Dad, alright. So, when you think you got, yeah. So, if Asuka really wants to win the SmackDown Women's title, you wouldn't be worrying about Sucks Worthless.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at the Asuka that was in NXT. The NXT Asuka would have never... She would have never paid him any attention. She would have been all about trying to get the win. Now they're making her look like a clown. And it's horrible what they're doing to her. Because she's better than what they're doing. She's much better. I don't even know why Carmella has the belt. Like, she can't wrestle. She can't wrestle. She can't cut a promo.
I be Charlotte Flair! Ah! Jesus!
You sound just like her. So, we move on from terrible match A to terrible match B.
Don't even get me started.
We have the United States title match, the U.S. title match with Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy. We get the formal, man, everybody comes to the ring. We get the formal introduction. Nakamura, the referee's back was turned. Get him ready to ring the bell. Soon as his back is turned, I mean, Nakamura in a perfect heel move. I mean, man, it was a great heel move. Man, he low blows Jeff Hardy. So Jeff Hardy immediately, man, is on the mat. The referee didn't see it. He calls, man, they call for the bell. Soon as he calls for the bell, Nakamura hits a Kinshasa, 1, 2, 3. Nakamura is your new U.S. champion. That's literally about as fast as the match went. Literally.
That was the fastest match of the night. Like,
of the night? It had to be of the year. Like, why would you... You could have did that on SmackDown and made it a rematch, at least. I mean, that...
They put no effort into that match.
None whatsoever.
They just rushed through it. They said, all right. They said, okay, we're going to do all this work for the Carmella match. I can't even pronounce her name. And then we're just going to rush through the almighty
U.S. title match. Yeah,
U.S. title
match.
There you go, Vince.
Yeah, like, I don't know what that was about. So, after the match, we get Nakamura standing there with the belt. Then Randy Orton comes back. He makes his appearance. Of course, he gets a pop. Nakamura goes to the outside, man, but like by the announce table, and he's standing there like, dude, what are you doing here? You know, he's got like this puzzled look on his face, like, what are you doing here? So Orton then comes in the ring, looks at Jeff Hardy, low blows Jeff Hardy while he's laying on the ground, and then walked out the ring. And then stared at, he's, gave Nakamura a stare and then walked out the ring. So where are they going with this? Are we going to see Orton Hardy? Or are we going to see Orton Nakamura?
I think we're going to see Orton Hardy Nakamura. They might do a triple threat match.
Well, yeah, Vince loves his triple threats. Yeah, we might get that. We'll probably get a triple threat match. Good that's a good call. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, you're probably right. We will probably get a triple threat match out of all of this. Like I said, I heard rumors that Jeff Hardy's hurt and he needs some time off. I don't know how true that is. We'll see. The guy's like built like stone. He, wrestles through all types of crazy injuries. So who knows? Next, we have the steel cage match with Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens. The night was getting better by this time. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good match.
It was really good. Well, not really good, but it was good.
It's one of the better steel cage matches they've put on in a long time.
But they didn't even use the cage.
Well, they did kind of at the end, and we'll get to that part. Bell rings. Strowman immediately stops. Oh, man. So as soon as the bell rings, of course, Kevin Owens tries to scale the fence. Braun catches him. And Owens stuns Braun for a second and then tries again. Braun brings him down one arm. Kevin Owens then tries to escape through the door, and then Braun Strowman stopped him. Then Braun overpowers him, of course, keeps dominating him. Then he was using the steel cage when he was banging him into the steel cage. They did use it there that one time. And then Owens, did he sidestep? Well, man, somehow he did something, and remember he missed, and Strowman went into the fence. And then after he missed, Owens got him with a super kick down in the corner. And then, man, he got his cannonball, his rolling cannonball. Then after he got the rolling cannonball, he climbed up the cage and then did his frog splash. Then he got a close 2 count. Owens then tries to escape for the door, but then Braun got him, goes back to work, and then launches Owen into the steel. And then by this time, fans were into it. They chanting one more time, one more time. Braun does it. Strowman then scoops Owen, launches him face first into the cage. Sorry, man. Come to think about it, they used it.
No, but
we'll get to it. You can. Of course, you get your opinion. Braun scoops on, launches him face first into the steel. The fans are behind Strowman. Man, he's like super over. Owens fights Braun, now counters him. Drops Braun with a stunner. Climbs for the door again, but then Strowman drags him back in. Strowman then gets up, closing the door, slamming it in Owens' face. Strowman then charges, hits the turnbuckle as as Kevin Owens move. KO then hits him with a super kick and then brings Strowman down to one knee. Owens somehow, found some handcuffs somewhere and handcuffs Strowman to the corner. Strowman, of course, is pissed off. But Owens talk trash like, yeah, come on, fight me now, fight me now. So Owens gets in a little offense. Braun grabs him by the throat and nails him with a choke slam. Owens then does the DX suck it. Blows a kiss at then did one of those and then start climbing out the ring. By this point, Strowman's like super pissed off. He rips the cuffs off and chases Kevin Owens to the top of the cage. Then he grabs KO by the throat and choke slams him from the top of the cage into the announce table down below. So of course your winner is Kevin Owens, but
when you think about it, your winner is Kevin Owens, but your loser is Kevin Owens.
Right? Yeah, your loser is also Kevin Owens.
So nobody won, but no one lost.
Yeah, like I said, overall, I thought it was a pretty decent match. Of course, we would like to see them use the cage more than they did, but I mean, for WWE, I think that was pretty good caginess. I'll put it like that. I kind of I like Strowman and Owens. I like the dynamic between they can like the story behind like why they're fighting each other is stupid, but they both look good in the ring together.
The old Braun Strowman, not the old one, when he was with Wyatt family, but when he was real bad.
Oh, you talking about when he was total heel? Well, before the crowd got behind him.
Yeah, now he's a goof. Now he's a goof. I like him as a goof, but he's still a bad guy. But
right, you want to see the monster, monster. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, because I get the big goof thing is kind of getting a little old. I mean, but you got to do something with him because technically he deserves the title. He should have had the title a long time ago.
But he has Money in the Bank, so he's
gonna get it.
He's gonna cash in.
Get it. It's just a matter of time of when are we gonna get the title back on TV.
Brock Lesnar.
Vince. Okay, so we move from there
to the Bludgeon Brothers.
No. Oh, yeah, to the Bludgeon Brothers. Yeah. Team Hell No versus the Bludgeon Brothers. So at this point, they're basically saying that Kane is out for the night. So Daniel Bryan comes out. So we initially thought it was going to be a handicap match. So Daniel Bryan comes out. He does, the Daniel Bryan. But, of course, he can't overcome Harper and Rowan. Harper and Rowan beating him down pretty much for most of the match. Then as it's looking like Daniel Bryan is just through, Kane stumbles down to the ring, all oldness of him, and climbs his decrepit self to the apron. He tags in, goes to work on Harper with like a cast around his foot. He can barely walk. So Rowan one's in. Kane choke slams Rowan and Harper. He calls for a tombstone, but his leg went out. Harper kicked him in his leg. Then he tags
Bryan.
Daniel Bryan in. Bryan nailed a nice missile drop kick. Then Bryan goes and kicks Harper. Man, kicks Harper in the head with the yes kicks.
As always, the crowd chanting yes.
Exactly. Bryan charges with a knee to Harper, but Rowan runs in and cuts him off. Rowan ends up dropping Bryan with a spin kick. Harper tags in for the double team out of the corner. They hit their move. Covers Bryan 1, 2, 3. Your winners are the Bludgeon Brothers. What do you think of this match?
I mean, Bryan put up a good match, but with all 100 and something years of Kane, did nothing.
Yeah, no, he really didn't. I mean, I don't understand what this was all about at the end of the day. It was just
A match.
it was there. I mean,
Okay, it was just one of those
right.
matches
I
where
mean,
you just say,
you weren't really invested in it. I mean, man, the team hell no thing. I mean, I guess it was cool for the first week they came back, but it wore thin really quick, in my opinion.
it was one of those matches where you just say, okay, what happened now?
Yeah, it was like Next we go to Aiden's favorite wrestler, Roman Reigns.
No, he's not.
Versus Bobby Lashley.
I don't like Roman Reigns. I really don't.
No, he loves Roman Reigns.
Dad, I don't like Roman Reigns.
That's his favorite wrestler.
No, he's not.
In the whole wide world.
No, you know I'm a CM Punk guy.
Yeah, I know you like AJ. But you really like Roman Reigns.
No, I don't.
So we get well, thank God it wasn't the main event. Thank you. I mean,
it was a match.
Do I really need to like go play by play with this match? Do you even care that much to know what really happened like that?
The only thing I cared about was Bobby Lashley winning.
Yeah. Okay, so you pretty much had a typical run-of-the-mill Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley match. A lot of power, a lot of big man power moves. Lashley slams Reigns slams Lashley. They get back up. Reigns works his arm. Lashley comes back with a suplex. Lashley goes behind, but Reigns fights him off with a back elbow. Reigns runs the rope, does a leapfrog. He stops and clubs Lashley from behind. Reigns fights Lashley into the corner. Reigns then takes Lashley into another turnbuckle. Reigns drops Lashley with another elbow, covers for a quick 2 count. Reigns keeps control. He runs around the ring, gets a drive-by on Lashley. He had to get all his Roman moves in. Reigns then keeps control out on the floor. They kept breaking the counts. Launches Lashley into a barrier. Lashley avoids a shot into the steel steps. That was a pretty good one when they were tugging with the steel steps. That was about the only good part of the match. Lashley snatches the... I keep calling him Leslie. Lashley snatches the steps from him and throws them. And it ends up like, man, the momentum dropped Reigns to the floor. Fans are chanting boring. This is awful. Boo.
'Cause it was.
Lashley then gets a belly to belly throw on Reigns. Reigns ends up coming back and dropping Lashley. Unloads with a clothesline in the corner. Reigns charges, but then Lashley catches him for a power slam. Close 2 count. Reigns charges in. Lashley hits a crossbody in the middle of the ring. They both go down. Lashley climbs to the top and comes down with a double axe handle smash. And then Reigns blocks a suplex. He dumps Lashley over the top rope. Lashley landed hard on the floor, but made it back into the ring. Reigns hits a legs drop. Then, of course, we get the "Let's go Roman, Roman sucks" chants at this point. Then we get Lashley. Then let's see, Reigns calls for the Superman punch. Of course, he got booed when he did. When he was setting up for it. Lashley blocks it. He blocked it with a spine buster. And then with a vertical man, then he hits him with a vertical suplex, and then Lashley gets a close 2 count. Next, they both they get up at the same time. And then that Reigns, of course, he had to nail at least one Superman punch. As Lashley was going for, looks like he was going for a spear. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Like I said, I don't like seeing these two in the ring together.
It was either a spine buster or a spear, but I really don't care.
Right. Reigns got fired up on the floor for a breather as the referee counts. He runs around trying to hit another drive-by. Lashley caught him, launches him over the head with a suplex, sending Reigns flying over the announce table. Lashley gets Reigns back into the ring, goes to the top. Reigns jumps up and nails a Superman punch again. And then Reigns looks to put Lashley away, but then Lashley jumps up with a spear out of nowhere and beat Roman Reigns with all things, a spear. So your winner, Bobby Lashley, with a spear.
Thank God.
Okay, so your opinion on this match, sir?
It was a long and boring match. That's all I gotta say about it.
Yeah, like they could have. I would have rather them had a 30-second match and got a little more time with Nakamura and Jeff Hardy. That would have worked for me. And then, come to think about it, the pay-per-view ended 15 minutes early. Why couldn't they have given that 15 minutes to Jeff Hardy and Nakamura? So then we move on from Bobby Ashley. And, of course, now they're hyping up Ashley and Brock Lesnar for the title. Which is fine with me because, man, long as it ain't Roman, I'm cool.
At this point,
It could be him versus a Walmart plastic bag. Long as it ain't Roman Reigns in the main event, I'm cool. I don't want to see Roman Reigns in another damn World Championship main event versus Brock Lesnar ever again in my life. I just don't want to see it. I've seen it enough times, more than enough times, where I've had my fill.
At this point, James Sucks Ellsworth can have it.
Give it to him. I don't care who you give it to. Just don't give it to Roman. Man, and then Braun Strowman can take it from whoever. So,
we got...
Then we see Ronda Rousey sitting ringside with her husband. So we all know which match is next. Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss.
The match was actually, it wasn't. How do I put it? It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
It was better than Oscar and
It was
Carmella.
definitely better than Oscar and Carmella,
But that's not saying much.
and definitely better than Nakamura and Hardy.
Yeah. But we did get, man, some kendo sticks and some chairs
And some trash cans.
and some trash cans. I mean, yeah, so they, wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that great. It's easily Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss's best match. Since they've, in the 115 times that they didn't fought in the past 3 months.
And counting.
And counting, right. Let's see. Okay. Bell rings. Of course, Alexa does her thing where she just try to stall you out, playing the scared little girl.
That she is.
Mickey tries to hand her a kendo stick, but Jax keeps it from her. Nia then gives let's see. Yeah, Nia then chases Alexa Bliss away. Jax then fights off with a steel chair shot. And another one as now Mickey James is study handing these different weapons to Alexa Bliss during the match. So Nia Jax blocks 2 trash can shots, and she tossed the cans and chairs into the ring. Bliss tries to run away, of course, but then Jax grabs her, floors her on the outside. Jax then brings it back into the ring and gets her with a big splash in the corner. Nia then tosses Alexa onto some chairs and into one of the cans, and then we see Natalya looking on from ringside, even in the odds, trying to keep Mickey James out of the match. So then Bliss goes high in the air and drops. Nia Jax pressed Bliss high in the air and dropped on a trash can. Then they cut the camera to Ronda Rousey. She's enjoying, Alexa getting her teeth kicked in. Jax then follows and brings Bliss right back into the ring. And then Nia gets smacked with a trash can lid, bringing her down to her knees. And then Bliss got her a couple of more shots with the trash can lid in on her. And then smashes the trash can over Nia's back. Bliss then wedges a chair into the turnbuckle. Then tosses around and drop kicks Nia for a 2 count. Jax ends up nailing her with a forearm after that, and then a headbutt. Alexa sent Nia shoulder first into the steel chair into the corner. And then Bliss barely got out of the way. Mickey then gets on the apron and tries to hand another trash can lid to Alexa. But then Natalya runs over and, snatches off the apron. So now we got Natalya beating up Mickey James on the floor. And Alexa starts to, try to help her friend. So they double teaming Natalya. So Ronda Rousey looks on and finally hops the barrier and attacks Mickey James. And then, then she charged Alexa Bliss. So then after that, did they call for the bell, man?
No.
They didn't call for the bell, then? I lost my spot in my notes here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, she drove Mickey into the mat, throwing her into the yeah, right. Then she threw her into the German announce table. Rousey then stares down Alexa. Alexa looks on from the other side of the ring. Of course, she's running from her. Rousey then chases Bliss and stops her from because she was trying to jump into the crowd. So
I've
she stopped
never
her
seen Rousey run so fast in my life.
Yeah, she did, man. She did take off after. And then Mickie James by this time grabs a kendo stick and hits Ronda in the back. And then Alexa goes back to the ring and goes to the top rope. Nia then caught her in midair and picked her up for a Samoan drop. Mickie then runs in and hits Nia with a steel chair to stop the Samoan drop. And then Alexa takes a chair shot to Nia. And like one or two chair shots. And then she drops Nia with a DDT onto a steel chair. Covered her. 1, 2, 3. Alexa Bliss.
Your winner.
Still the champion. Why, I don't know.
Now we have 2 terrible women's champions.
We really do.
Why?
And there's so many other women deserving.
Ronda deserves it, and yet they said.
Well, Ronda, you got to give Ronda a little more time. I think it should be going between Bayley and Sasha Banks. Instead of them having them in a psychiatrist's office looking stupid.
We haven't even seen them for a couple of weeks. We don't even know what they're doing.
Next we have
AJ Styles versus Rusev
for the WWE title. This was a pretty good match. One of the better matches on the card. I would say, man, one of the top 2.
Top 2.
Yeah, top 2. Really good match. Of course, you got to be a dum-dum to have a bad match with AJ Styles. That's why he's arguably the best in the world right now. Rusev charges AJ in the beginning, backing him into the corner. They break. AJ turns around with his kicks and his strike, focusing on Rusev's leg. AJ ends up taking Rusev's left knee out. And Rusev fights back, tosses AJ. Rusev then catches a kick and drops AJ with a big kick. With a big punch. And then he dropped him, tried to cover him. He gets a 1 count. AJ fights back, brings Rusev down to a knee. Styles goes with a big chop to the chest. Rusev then blocks a suplex. Fans are going, popping for this match. AJ then blocks another move, and then he goes back to working on Rusev's left knee. Rusev then catches AJ off the ropes and drives him into the mat. Man, tried to make another pin attempt. Didn't get it. Rusev then sells the leg kicks from earlier and then hits another suplex. Rusev drops an elbow in a cover for a 1 count. AJ turns it back around with some more kicks. He catches AJ with a big back body drop. Rusev did, and then got some forearms to the lower back. Styles then goes down after a forearm to the face, and Rusev makes another quick cover. There's no avail. Rusev then takes his time, stalks AJ, scoops him up for a bear hug in the middle of the ring. Then we go back and forth for a little while longer. Rusev has AJ up top. AJ stuns him and climbs up. AJ then slides out from under him and kicks Rusev's leg out from under him. Then AJ, let's see. Then AJ brings back Rusev back into the ring, ducks a right hand, and drops Rusev with some strikes. Then a nice clothesline. AJ then went with a flying forearm, and fans are once again, man, popping even harder. Then AJ hits Rusev with a reverse DDT for a 2 count. AJ then gets to his feet and goes for a Styles Clash, but Rusev rams him, forces him into the corner, and tries to avoid AJ getting a calf crusher on him. Rusev powers AJ to the top and then to the top rope and then knocks him off. AJ lands on the floor. Rusev runs the rope and then does a suicida or a suicide dive. And then AJ meets him at the top ropes with a forearm to the head. Styles then comes in, drops Rusev with an enziguri from the apron. AJ then goes, tries to go for his springboard 450, but Rusev moved, so he ended up just rolling through. And then AJ goes for the calf crusher, but Rusev countered with an accolade attempt. Then they trade holds. AJ nails a kick. Rusev knocks AJ out of a move mid-air, and fans do more dueling chants for the two. Rusev then scoops AJ for a fallaway slam, but AJ countered. Then AJ went for a calf crusher, locked it in, got the calf crusher on Rusev. Rusev tries to make it to the bottom rope. And then Aiden English, helps him, so he pushes the rope toward him, so Rusev could grab it, so he could break the calf crusher. Styles then leaves the ring, goes after English, chasing him around the ring. Rusev meets him on the floor with a big over the head belly to belly suplex. Rusev then brings it back into the ring and nails a Machka kick for another 2 count. Rusev gets up and waits in the corner again, and AJ ducks another one of Rusev's kick, and he nails the Pele kick, bringing Rusev down to one knee. AJ charges again, but Rusev drops him with a knee. Rusev then gets a big kick for a close 2 count, and then goes for the accolade again. But his injured leg, the injured leg plays in, so he can't really lock it in.
So he did the one leg accolade thing.
Yeah, and then he pulled back on AJ's neck, but AJ was able to break the hold because he couldn't really lock it in. So as this is going on, Aiden English jumps up and takes the top turnbuckle off. So Rusev is fired up now. Like AJ gets up and he's like rolling from corner to corner. And Rusev charges him, and AJ moves out of the corner, and Rusev hits the he ends up hitting the steel, the exposed steel. So AJ then goes up to the apron. He hits a springboard 450. Rusev still kicked out. Then AJ goes to the ropes and jumps up on the rope, nails the phenomenal forearm as Rusev was getting up. Styles cover, and your winner and still WWE champion, AJ Styles, the phenomenal.
That's the only person that I'm happy about that still has a title.
You said still what?
That's the only person I'm happy about that still has a title.
Me as well.
Unlike the
He's been champ for like 280 something days now.
Now we have the Iron Man match with Ziggler and
the main event. We're going to the main event. I liked it all the way to the end.
It was alright.
How did you think of? Well, you didn't tell us what you thought of the other match.
All right, so that match,
AJ Styles and Rusev.
I liked it. I really did.
Was that your favorite match of the night?
So far, yes. Because
That and which one?
that and the next match.
The Iron Man match that we're gonna talk about. Okay.
But all the way until the end, it was just no.
Okay, we have the 30-minute Iron Man match for the Intercontinental title. Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler. I'm not really gonna go move by move because, I mean, we'll be here all night. We get down to, let's see, man. We come out of the gate. Rollins got the first 3 falls, right?
No, he got the.
He went up 3-0, right?
Mhm.
Right. So Rollins went up 3-0 real quick. So then after we get Rollins up 3-0 around the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, it was around 25.
Yeah, it was like the 25-minute mark is when we start getting all of like, man, Seth Rollins got like his first pin, and then like at around the 22 about the 22-minute mark, he got him with a curb stomp, and he went up 2-0. Then after he went up 2-0, McIntyre ran into the ring and attacked Rollins. The referee argues with Rollins, and
You mean McIntyre?
then no, he argued with Rollins. Yeah, argued with McIntyre. I'm sorry. Yeah, argued with McIntyre, and then told JoJo to announce another fall. So because he was attacked by Drew McIntyre, he was up now 3-0. So the referee argues with McIntyre some more because McIntyre is pissed and so he further attacks him. He turns around and hits a Claymore on Seth, and by this time the referee ejects him. This was around the 20-minute mark. So as he's leaving up the ramp, Ziggler crawls over and covers Rollins. So now it's 3-1 with about 19 and a half minutes to go. Next, Rollins gets up. Man, Ziggler hit him with his super kick. And then he covered Rollins again to get his second fall. So now it's 3-2. So then around the 1750 mark or so,
It was 17. Yeah, 1750.
Ziggler sends Rollins into a ring post and follows it up with a zigzag, and he's got another pin. So now it's tied at 3-3 with about 17 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Next, Rollins blocks a zigzag, keeps control, goes to the second rope, lands on his feet, and then Rollins hits a sling blade, sends Ziggler over the top rope. Rollins then runs the rope, gives him a suicide dive. Ziggler then meets him at the ropes with the forearm, and then runs in and covers Rollins with his feet on the ropes. It was a dirty cover. So now Ziggler is up 4-3. This is around, what was this, about 15 minutes? 16, 15 minutes, somewhere around in there.
Yeah.
Ziggler then keeps Rollins grounded. And then he keeps him down with a front face lock, but then Rollins tries to fight back. They trade counters, man, back and forth, back and forth. Ziggler then jumps on Rollins' back for a sleeper in the middle of the ring. Ziggler takes Rollins back down for man, he takes Rollins back down. Rollins fights back up, rams Ziggler into the corner. Ziggler keeps the sleeper hold locked all this time. The hold is finally broken, and then Rollins sends Ziggler to the floor. Rollins runs the rope for another suicide dive and brings Ziggler back into the ring. But Ziggler crawls out the other side. Rollins runs the ropes and nails another dive. From there, Rollins flies in from the top and takes Ziggler down for a close 2 count. Ziggler fights. Ziggler played the clock well. He knew what he had to do. So Rollins looks up at the clock. It's about 9 minutes left to go. He goes to the top, but Ziggler drop kicks him. Ziggler motions for the referee to hurry up and start counting Rollins out, but Rollins made it back in at like 9.
It was 9.
Ziggler then goes for a DDT, but then it's blocked. Rollins then, with a kick to the face, he drops Ziggler again and covers him for another close 2. Rollins then goes to the top, and Ziggler goes to the top. I'm sorry, but Rollins hits the rope and crotches him. Rollins then pulls Ziggler up the turnbuckles in the corner, and Ziggler climbs up with him. Rollins looks to be in control. Ziggler fights through the move and but Rollins headbutts Ziggler to the mat. Rollins then stands up, looks at the clock again, and then nails a nice frog splash. By the way, Seth Rollins got like one of the best frog splashes. It looks so good. But Ziggler again kicked out at 2. So now we at about 6 minutes. They go back and forth. Seth Rollins gives him a Falcon Arrow. He kicks out. He tried to get a suplex. He kicked out. Then Rollins tries. Man, he's preparing for a curb stomp. He hits a super kick, but then he can't get the curb stomp. So then Ziggler rolls up for a 2 count. Rollins then slingshots Ziggler into the corner and rolls him up for another pin with about 3 minutes to go. So now we're tied 4-4. So they go back and forth, back and forth. Ziggler is really playing defense because he knows if it ends in a tie, then the tie always goes to the champ. So Ziggler goes for a super kick, but then Rollins, man, shuts him down. I forgot what did he do? Did he hit him with a curb? He finally got him with the curb stomp.
Yeah, he got him with a stomp. And then this is around the...
This is right before it ended. That's when he covered him.
Yeah, and then it got to 1. He was at 2, and then it was over.
Right.
Ends at a draw. Raw general manager Kurt Angle comes out and says his hometown of Pittsburgh does not want to see a draw. So what he did was a sudden death overtime. And what happened?
First pin wins the title. So as soon as they ring the bell for the sudden death, McIntyre comes back out, distracts Rollins on the ropes. I don't know why he would even be worried about him at that point. Ziggler then takes advantage, immediately hits Rollins for a zigzag 1, 2, 3. He won. So it was literally like, man, he restarted the match for like 30 seconds. And it was over again. I thought we were going to get, because there was 15 minutes left to go on this pay-per-view, I thought we was going to get at least another good 10 minutes of these guys. I mean, they pretty much, they tore the house down. It was good that it was the main event, because at least you sent the crowd home in a good mood. Except for that ending. I mean, it was a good match, terrible ending.
We were talking about hopefully, Dean Ambrose was going to run out and then something was going to happen.
Yeah, but it didn't work that way, did it?
No, it did not. I mean, I wanted to see him either tonight or I wanted to see him at SummerSlam.
I can see SummerSlam. I think he's gonna probably make a return at SummerSlam.
He has to.
So overall, what did you think of the pay-per-view?
They really didn't do. They really.
Did you give it a A, B, C, D, or F?
What would you give it?
Well, I asked you first.
I'll give it a C minus.
C minus. That sounds pretty good. Average. I would give it just a C because it was average. I mean, it felt, and we said it last night. It felt like we were watching Monday Night Raw and not a pay-per-view. That's really what it felt like.
To be honest, they didn't even. It was like a normal. With Asuka and Carmella, that was a whole random lame Kurt Hawkins thing.
That was a hot mess. That was a hot mess. That and sucks worthless as you call him. That was a hot mess.
And the U.S. title had a lack of care.
And so he gave it a C minus. I give it a C, just a C, not a C plus, not a C minus. He gives it a C minus. Let us know what you guys rated it as. Man, if you enjoyed it, let us know what matches you enjoyed. Feel free to like, comment down below, and subscribe. And that pretty much is it for your WWE 2018 Extreme Rules recap and review. Again, you can feel free to tweet us at TLT Pod. We are the TLT Tables, Ladders, and Talk podcast. And we will see you back Monday night for Monday Night Raw review.
Followed by the Second City Network.
That is correct. Again, we're going to have some gaming things and some pop culture things going up on there real soon. And until we see you guys tomorrow night, that's it. And you guys be easy, people. Peace.